Good evening, everyone. I am Dr. K. Pushpam, Assistant Professor in Sociology. Now we are discussing about selection and the selection process. Selection is the process of choosing the most suitable persons out of all the applicants. In this process, relevant information about applicants is collected through a series of steps so as to evaluate their suitability for the job to be filled. Selection is a process of matching the qualification of applicants with the job requirements. It is the process of weeding out unsuitable candidates and finally identify the most suitable candidate. Selection divides all the applicants into two categories. One is suitable, another one is unsuitable. Selection may be described as a process of rejection because generally more candidate is turned away than are hired. The purpose of selection is to pick up the right person for every job. Definition: David DeSanso defined it is as it means the selection is a managerial decision making process to predict which job applicants will be successful if hired. According to Thomas H. Stone, selection is the process of differentiating between applicants in order to identify and hire those with a greater likelihood of success in a job. Selection process definition. The selection process can be defined as shortlisting the right candidates with the required qualification to fill the vacancies in an organization. The process varies from company to company, hence need to be understood what type of process suits accordingly. The selection process is quite a lengthy and complex process as it involves a series of steps before making a final decision. Selection process meaning. The selection process refers to selecting the right candidate with the required qualification and capabilities to fill the vacancy in the organization. The selection process is quite a lengthy one and also complex. It involves a series of steps before a final selection. The procedure of selecting the employees may vary from industry to industry according to their own needs. Every organization designs their selection process while keeping in mind the urgency of hiring the people and the requisites for vacancy of the job. Selection procedure. The selection procedure concerned with securing relevant information about an applicant. This information is secured in a number of steps or stages. The objective of selection process is to determine whether an applicant meets the qualification for a specific job and to choose the applicant who is most likely to perform well in that job. Selection is a long process commencing from the preliminary interview of the applicants and ending with the contract of employment. Selection process or activities typically follow a standard pattern beginning with an initial screening interview and concluding with the final employment decision. The traditional selection process includes preliminary screening interview, completion of application form, employment test, comprehensive interview, background investigations, physical examinations, and final employment decision to hire. Essential of selection procedure. The selection procedure adopted by an organization is mostly tailor made to meet its particular needs. The thoroughness of the procedure depends upon three factors. First one is the nature of selection, whether faulty or safe, because faulty selection affects not only the training period that may be needed but also results in heavy expenditure on the new employee and the loss that may be incurred by the organization in case the occupant fails on his job. Second one, the policy of the company and the attitude of the management. As a practice, some companies usually hire more than the actual number needed with a view to removing the unfit persons from the jobs. Third one, the length of the professionary or trial period. The longer the period, the greater the uncertainty in the minds of the selected candidate about his future. So this is the procedure for effective personal selection. The first stage, establishing selection policies. Then the establishing selection policies get a purpose of selection, who makes selection decision, screening or out or selecting in, then fitting people to job or designing people, then selection procedure. Then second stage, identifying or choosing selection criteria. Identifying criteria of successful performance, identifying predictors of success, then determining selection criteria. That third stage, gathering information about potential employees authorized to hire, initial contact with potential employee, preliminary interview, biographical data, then testing, then in-depth interview, then verifying background information, then medical examinations if needed. Then fourth stage, evaluating information and assessing applicant. Evaluating biographical inventory, evaluating test results and assessing applicant interview. Fifth stage, making design to select or reject. Electronic assistance or personal value judgment. Sixth stage, communicating design, then rejection or making job offer, acceptance or rejection of offer. So this is the effective personnel selection. The hiring process can be successful if the following preliminary requirements are satisfied. Someone should have the authority to hire. This authority comes from the employment requisition as developed by an analysis of the workload and workforce. There must be some standard or personnel with which a prospective employee may be compared. That is, there should be available beforehand a comprehensive job description and a job specification as developed by a job analysis. There must be a sufficient number of applicants from whom the required number of employees may be selected. Steps in selection procedure. There is no shortcut to an accurate evaluation of a candidate. The hiring procedures are therefore generally long and complicated. Many employers make use of such techniques and then pseudosciences as penology, physiognomy, and astrology, graphology, etc. While coming to hiring decisions, however, in modern times, these are considered to be unreliable measures. The following is a popular procedure, though it may be modified to suit in individual situation. Reception or preliminary interview or screening. Application blank, a fact finder which helps one in learning about an applicant's background and life history. A well conducted interview to explore the facts and get at the attitudes of the applicant and his family to the job. A physical examination, health and stamina are vital factors in success. Psychological testing to explore the surface area and get an objective look at a candidate's suitability for a job. Conducting other tests, if any, a reference check, final selection approval by manager and communication of the decision to the candidate. Selection process flowchart. So first one is reception of applications, preliminary interview, then application blank, psychological test, then interview, background investigation, reference check, then if anybody referral to the particular person, we have to check it, then final selection by it interviewers, then physical examinations, then so that is, these are the selection procedure of a selection process flow chart. So these are the steps, the if we get a positive decision or negative decisions, if those who are getting the waiting list or list of desirable applicants will be appointed for the particular job, all the things will be decided based on this process only. Types of selection process. Selection types differ according to different types of organizations. The types of selection process are application forms and CVs, online screening and shortlisting, interviews, psychometric testing, ability and aptitude test, personality profiling, presentations, group exercises, assessment centers, then references. Thank you. So these are all the considers for selection process procedures. We have if you have any query, so kindly you contact me. Thank you.